Hello, welcome to the God's Honest Truth. I'm your host, Sean Milligan. Last time we were talking about Adam and Eve committing the very first sin of, listening to a serpent instead of God, and by eating the one fruit they were told very specifically not to eat. And now we're about to see what are the consequences of those actions are. So, that being said, let's jump into verse 13. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So he asked Eve, Well, how could you do this? And Eve said, Well, the snake tricked me. And so God decided to punish the snake, who some may believe is Satan at this point. But we'll just move on for now. And verse 15, And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy soul and thy comfort, and shalt thou bring forth children. And they desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy voice, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground of thy sake, and shalt thou eat of it all of the days of thy life. So here we can see he's punishing Eve by saying that she will be buying many children, and that the desire shall be to thy husband, and he will rule over her. But also punishing Adam by cursing the ground that they walk on. Moving on. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweets of thy face shalt thou eat bread, thou shalt turn unto the ground, for out it was taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. So you can see that he's also cursing them to die, because you have eaten food, as I said, you shouldn't have, you will die, like I said you would. And 20, and Adam called his wife's name Eve, because he was the mother of all living things. Unto Adam also, and to his wife, did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is now come as one of us to know good and evil, and now these ye put forth in the hand, and take also the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the garden, even to the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the garden of Eden some cherubims, and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So shortly after saying you will be now die as I said you would, I'm now also pushing you out of the garden. You're no longer welcome there. Now let's compare all of that to the New Living Translation. This so far it has been the version I like better. Here we go. 13. Then the Lord God asked the woman, "How could you do such a thing?" "The serpent took me," she replied. "That's why I ate it." The Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you will be punished. You are singled out from all the domestic and wild animals of the whole earth to be cursed. You will grovel at the dust as long as you live, crawling along on your body. From now on, you and the woman will be enemies, and your offspring and her offspring will be her enemies. You will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." Now you can see here it's actually explaining in more simple details on what the King James was trying to say, and that the snake and woman will forever be enemies, and they're not really going to get along anymore, so to speak. And then he said to the woman, "You will bear children with intense pain and suffering, and though your desire will be for your husband, he will be your master." And to Adam he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit I told you not to eat, I have placed a curse on the ground. All your life you will struggle this grass and living from it. It will grow thorns and thistles for you, though you will eat of its grain. All your life you will sweat to produce food until your dying day. Then you will return to the ground from which you came. For you were made from dust, and to the dust you will return." Again, you can see that it's explaining it in a more simpler detail, saying that you're gonna struggle for your food now, instead of just me providing it for you. And then, so moving on, and then Adam named his wife Eve, because she would be the mother of all the people everywhere. And Lord God made clothing from animal skins for Adam and his wife. Then the Lord God said, "The people have become as we are, knowing everything good and evil. If they eat the fruit of the tree of life, then they will live forever." So the Lord banished Adam and his wife from the Garden of Eden, and he sent Adam to cultivate the ground from which he had been made. After banishing them from the garden, the Lord God stationed mighty angelic beings to the east of Eden, and a flaming sword flashed back and forth, guarding the way to the tree of life. So there you have it, near the end there. It actually explains in better detail about the protection. There's a group of angels, as well as a flaming sword that guards the tree of life away from men, so that no one can live forever. Because we messed up. We messed up good. And so yeah, there you have it. That's the story of Adam and Eve, for the most part. Next time we'll be going into chapter 4. That should be interesting. Hope you all having a very good day today. I'm Sean Milk, and this has been the God's Honest Truth, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.